In my introduction, I forgot to mention long-distance running, but somebody did yesterday. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so welcome all. And I believe that you are here because you think you may learn something valuable which will help you in becoming more effective in getting your tasks done. And this is what I wanted to do. I became interested in that because after so many years of working, I realized what a big issue is my procrastination is. And so I became interested in the topic and wanted to get to the underlying cause of it. And I want to share my current understanding of it with you. Who doesn't know what procrastination is? Just in case, this is the definition. So, we delay starting, avoid finishing, do many other things, not that which is critical, not the one which is important. And I think that you are here because some of you know already that they are procrastinators. Who knows? Who is a procrastinator in this room? Almost everyone. And okay, so let's do the first exercise. Within pairs, please share one or two stories of your procrastination. And afterwards, I'll ask you to share the stories which your partner, which you found in your partner, are worth presenting here because the entire audience should know about it. So, so in pairs, share the stories, please. Of your procrastination and the consequences which it brought. Please tell us, did you hear from your conversation partner a story which should be presented here? Because all of us can learn something from it.
Very personal.
Very personal, okay. So, well, it's a safe place, you remember that. So, it is a place to share personal stories.
Should I share her story?
Okay, you go ahead, or if Patricia doesn't want to do it herself, yeah, you can go ahead and do it.
I believe it's...
All right, go ahead, yeah.
I really like her story because it's really common, and I bet many of us can have similar things. Patricia had a problem of cleaning her home. Okay. And she don't like it, like cleaning these things, so she's avoiding it. But through the rationalization, she figured it out with Franek that actually they agreed that other things are more important than cleaning that house. Yes. But it's still like itching a little bit that the right things should be in the right place.
All right. Let's remember that, because this is fairly common. Thank you. Okay. Any other? Yeah.
I would like to share a story that Agnieszka told me. It is really like something really common. It is playing with fire, closing to the edge, but seeing where are the boundaries. And she's having one job. One job. To have all papers done and sent to the accountant. She got every paper except one. And because of that, she did not send any of those, because there is one still waiting, and she's seeing when to send it, when it all will be done, and where is the boundary? If it will have negative consequences, it's like checking what I can do not to do it right.
All right. If I got this right, so you do 95% of the task, and this remaining 5% goes forever, right? And it's related to your work.
Yes, because these
Okay.
are invoices, which I should say.
Invoices. Okay. So, okay. So let's call it delaying. Okay, work task. Okay, any other stories?
Right, so I had a great pleasure to listen to Kuba's stories. I'm a big fan of Kuba's stories. So one of them, because he told me two, but one of them was today's morning when he woke up at 8 in the morning, and as effect of chatting, checking some dating websites, he didn't manage to have a breakfast, he didn't manage to send a very important email, and he was late for the first conference. So again, even though it's also still of my life. Like I always let myself to have more time to prepare, and at the end I'm late. So
Okay. So we can say wasting time on pleasures instead.
yes, but in order to avoid something.
In order to avoid doing important things. Okay. So okay. Wasting time. We'll remember. Okay. Good. Actually, those of us who understand the issue, know that they are procrastinators, are in much better position than those who deny it and who actually name the problem differently. So they say, for example, I'm very busy, or there are other things to do which are more important, or the worst of those, I'm lazy, or he's lazy, and there is no such thing as laziness. This is quite a revolutionary statement. I believe that there is no such thing, that this is actually a misnomer. This is, we call it laziness, whereas it is a different problem. And
Excuse me, so what do you think is another word for laziness?
Laziness is just avoiding to name the issue of procrastination. We call it laziness, but it is actually procrastination. So we have already some of some types of things that we tend to procrastinate about. What can be added to this list? Any? What else can be added? Well, okay.
Fixing things.
Oh, fixing the top.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, here is what I have on my list.
Oh, participation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there something we can add to it?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe you can add to the list all the things that we would like to do. There are some things we would like to do. For example, I would like to go to the mountains, someday. But unless I state that I'll go to the mountains kind of this summer, or this year, or this month, that would like actually turns into I won't.
Yes. I'm glad that you brought this up, because I think that our life management is an art not only of choosing the tasks to do, but also eliminating the tasks which we should not pay our attention to. And I would say for every single task worth doing, there are 100 tasks which should be put away. So, and it's not me, by the way, it's Steve Jobs. So, all right. Yes?
Also, there's a book, One Thing, written by, I think, Gary someone.
That's right.
Yeah, it's also about this.
Yeah.
There's also
So,
90%
all right.
Concentrate on one.
Speaking of the last one, does it happen to you? Well,
Always.
it does. It's very, very unfortunate. And I have a confession to make. After so many years in Toastmasters, I'm still ACB, ALB. So it's a shame. I know it is a shame, but this is what.
So there's no hope for us, right?
Well, no. Actually, the purpose of it is to give you some hope. Okay.
But now you have a deadline until the program
yes.
goes away. So
Right. Okay. Do we have an? Okay. I think so. These are the reasons people commonly give for their procrastination. And do you agree with this list? Yes. Do you think that something can be added to it?
I would add something.
Yes.
I would add, sometimes I don't do things which I really enjoy because I feel bad that I haven't done things which should be done, which I don't like.
Right.
So first I should do the things which I don't like, and then take care of things which are more pleasant.
But
Yes.
Even though
Yes.
they might be more important than the things which aren't bringing any pleasure.
But I think that we can, I actually agree with you, but we can connect it to an ability to prioritize, because this is the inability to prioritize the rest, that the rest should be our priority.
Right. Yeah. I remember having, for example, important work tasks to do. My kitchen was spotless. So, because I could find many other things to do which were not related to the task. But I think, and this is another point where I want to change your understanding of procrastination. I think that these reasons are not real. And in my opinion, procrastination is. It is a disease. It is a psychological disorder. Moreover, it's hereditary. So maybe someday some scientist will discover procrastination gene, and then will be able to manipulate it. But for now, this is the same thing, and it is associated with depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, things that bring people to things that cause people to seek professional help. And if this is nevertheless, these are the consequences. We are unable to perform to our fullest. We diminish our potential. So this is a serious issue. Remember what Carolina Carolina and Przemek told in my introduction, like 30 books and articles, diverse interest. Imagine what I could have done if I weren't a procrastinator. Imagine what you could have done if you weren't affected by this disease. So it's obvious, procrastination has to be cured. And these are the reasons why. Because it ruins our lives. Okay, it's time for another exercise. So, how to cope with it? What can we do? And please, in pairs again, discuss what we can do about it. How can we overcome it? So, again, in pairs, please, what can be done? Can we stop? What did you learn from your partner, which in your opinion, could be a valuable tool to overcome procrastination? Okay, any? Yes?
My colleague said, although she's not a procrastinator, but she said that a good advice might be doing lists. So
yeah, so lists.
and it doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
And it's even more stressful that I have things, like written down. I can see that there are tasks to do, and it doesn't work. Just nothing.
But
Okay.
I can propose some improvement for
Yes.
lists as such, because instead of just doing lists of everything that we have in
Right.
mind, I mean, we should do the list of things that we have in mind, but then we need to assign tasks for each day, and we
Right.
should write, presume how much time do we need for that.
Okay.
And write for each day, write only such amount of things that we are able to do.
Right. So, can we call it set up realistic plans for the day, for each day?
Exactly. For example, I need 1 hour for preparation lesson, and I cannot set it for half an hour because I will not do it. I cannot write 10 things to do because I won't do this.
Okay.
I think it's good to create some habits. So every Monday, for example, I attend to the Toastmasters meeting, no matter if I'm tired or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
Or you can
So,
try a
yes.
conditioning.
Sometimes which are mine and other people's, which I don't want to do.
Other people's tasks. Okay. Which is just focusing on things which are important to me, right?
Rejecting tasks. That's actually one way
Right.
of accomplishing more tasks.
To be assertive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've already talked about that.
I think it's also sometimes good to do some things with other people, because when we know that someone observes.
We'll get to that. Okay, so here are my comments. Speaking of setting the time frame for the tasks, and my advice would be just come up with an estimate and then multiply it by, and guess how much. Multiply it by 3. Yes, and then you'll get into a more realistic assessment of the time that it may actually take. It's just pure statistics. It's a rule of normal distribution. Our assessment tends to be always overly optimistic. So here is the list which I came up with. The first 4 are things that we can do ourselves. But we start as soon as possible. We divide the tasks into smaller, manageable tasks. And we set up a reward and punishment system. For example, if I accomplish this by a certain time, I will go to the cinema. And if I don't, I will punish myself in some cruel way. And yeah.
I will go for a bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep and another task, keeping a log of activities. And I will show you how it can be done. This is another task. Okay, so a log of activities. You write down what you did And when you realize that you don't do things, you also put it in a log, that for some reason I didn't do what I wanted to do. And then you'll be able to review it and see some patterns in it. The last 2 points here concern doing things together. And I think that's a major way of overcoming procrastination. We need other people's help. And doing a task in a group helps because you have to keep up with the group. And if the nature of a task is such that you have to do it individually, then just informing other people that you want to accomplish it helps. And it's good to do this, to make a contract with yourself that you're going to do something by a certain date, and you will reward yourself and punish, and put this in writing. When this is that refers to the last point. Inform as many people as you can about the task. Create a support group. And actually, it's nothing new. It's not a fresh idea. There is actually a Procrastinators Anonymous group, and you can find it on Facebook. And yes, you can. Just don't get attached to Anonymous. We know what it is. And I think that creating an equivalent of Alcoholics Anonymous is actually a way to go. And as you know, Alcoholics Anonymous, the 12-step program, is deeply rooted in religion, in believing that we are powerless, but there is God, and God helps us. And I'm an atheist, so I cannot accept that. So I came up with an atheistic 12-step model. And since there is no such support group in Poland yet, here is my idea, which we can start as this group, and start now. Let's not procrastinate on this one. Let's start Procrastinator self-help group based on the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous, but make it a bit more secular than theirs. So, group support program could be a powerful tool for procrastinators as it is for alcoholics. And if everything else fails, remember that it is a serious issue, and seeking psychological help is something that you should seriously consider, because you have a choice of either underperforming for all of your life or just reach your full potential after getting some therapy. There are, the literature is huge, but that's the book which I found which made an impression on me, so you may want to just look for literature. There is a lot, but I recommend this book. Other speakers yesterday recommended some sources for further reading, so I do too. And that's it.